Um, Thanks for tuning in to the Uncensored Truth podcast. Hope you guys have had a great day yesterday and uh, have a good day today. Got a lot to talk about today. Um, we tried to actually shoot a podcast 2 days ago now, and we had a storm here, and the storm actually caused our power to go out. So that was a little concerning. So we did end up losing that video. Um, Unfortunately, it's just what happens. Um, but hey, we prevail and we keep going. Um, so we're going to talk about some things today. We're going to talk about specifically the report that came out. Sorry, just trying to do something here. The report that came out regarding COVID-19, and once again, the conspiracy theorists were vindicated. Once again, folks. Once again. So let's talk about it. And you know, there's been a pattern lately. There's been a pattern lately of what's been going on here. And it's been concerning. So anyway, let's get into it. I'm sorry, little trying to get this thing typed up here. Not typed up, but anyway. All right. August 12th, 1986, President Ronald Reagan, it is a great speech. If you're really interested, if you're really interested, go ahead and go on to the Ronald Reagan Foundation. It's a great speech. You can watch the speech. Well, actually, I think you can actually. I know you can. You can actually find it on YouTube. But if you go to the Reagan Foundation website, there's actually like a tab. You hit watch full speech, and it takes you to the YouTube video. So anyway, August 12th, 1986, Ronald Reagan said something that holds true and holds true to today as well. Obviously, he said the 9 most terrifying words in the world are, "I'm from the government and I'm here to help." He says, which is why the first words out of the government's mouths we have to assume is always a lie. And listen, he is not. He is, man. He hit that right on the head. You see, you see what's been going on. And once again, they said if you question, specifically during COVID-19, if you question the government, they called you a conspiracy theorist, right? If you question COVID-19 and the mask mandates, they called you treasonous, right? If you spoke out against the mask mandates, they called you a murderer. If you thought COVID was leaked from a lab, they called you insane, right? They said that if you thought that gain of function research was not being done specifically in the Wuhan lab in China, or and actually we're doing a story on this one too. There's also been some new stuff coming out regarding some biolabs in the Ukraine. So guys, if you're paying attention, man, it all just comes together full circle, and it's really interesting the way that it works, and the way that things have truly been progressing, specifically since 2020 and the presidency of Donald Trump. I mean, if you spoke out about it, if you even had any inclination regarding COVID being fake or whatever, they censored you on Twitter, on Facebook. There was a Stanford doctor, okay, a Stanford doctor, who was censored after he said that there was no way that this virus came from a wet market. And VJ Gotti and Yoel Roth, thinking, playing God, decided to censor this the Stanford doctor, and it's like, who the hell are you, right? VJ Gotti is not a doctor. Yoel Roth is not a doctor. So to go in there and censor a Stanford expert, right? A Stanford doctor who knows what the hell he's talking about. I think it kind of goes and shows you where what's been going on and where we've been. And I started the show and I said, once again the conspiracy theorists have been vindicated, and it's true. It's so true. So let's talk about that specifically, right? So initially it was the well, there's no way that the sorry about that, guys. There's no way that the Hunter Biden laptop story is real, yada, yada, yada. And it's just like, what? Where do you think this story would come from? Just out of thin air? And sure enough, the New York Post had posted the story, and they were censored somewhat. And then it comes to find out the Hunter laptop story is absolutely true, right? But a lot of people who said, no, this is a true story, they called the New York Post, one of the biggest, most historical media companies, conglomerate media companies in this country, was told that, no, this is fake. There's no way. And then the next thing was, and we just mentioned it, the Twitter files or the Twitter censorship, right? They said, oh, well, Twitter doesn't censor anybody. We believe in free speech. Like I just said, they censored a Stanford doctor. They censored certain Congress members. And then when Elon Musk bought Twitter and released the Twitter files, once again, the conspiracy theorists were vindicated. So look, guys, it's the fact that, let me show you something. To say that this came from a wet market, that it jumped from a bat to human, is just total nonsense. Okay, let me show you something. For those of you that know, in 2019, I spent 6 months in China. Okay, there's the visa. There's my Chinese visa. So anyone that goes to China, whether it's for vacation or like I did, I was actually working with a company. So there's my Chinese visa. Okay, there it says right there, Chinese visa. It's got a number there. It's got some of my information there, and there are my. I flew into Beijing, and that's where I went through immigration. There's my stamps. Why do I tell you that? I lived in a city called Shenzhen, specifically the Nanshan district, which is other than when you start getting up north, northern China, kind of up into the mountainous area. There's some pretty big cities, and I lived in a humongous city. Shenzhen is a massive city. Let me tell you something. I've been to wet markets. I've been to wet markets, and let me tell you something. Ain't no way in hell. Ain't no way this virus came from a wet market. I promise. I've been there, guys. I've been to wet markets. I have. Part of the propaganda of the lunatic leftists like CNN, and funny that I said that because I got this article off of CNN. But again, funny that now CNN is doing a U-turn, doing a full reversal, and saying, "Now wait a minute, this did come from a Chinese lab, and we're going to confirm that for you." So, look, they just continue to play, they just continue to play both sides. They don't want to get canceled themselves, and CNN has become truly a dump of a media organization. But I specifically brought this one up because I thought it was funny that CNN has done a total U-turn regarding the Wuhan Lab Leak. Let's talk about Dr. Fauci. When you're in media, you can't be opinionated. You've got to give the facts. You've got to give the truth, right? But here's what I will say regarding an opinion. In my opinion, Dr. Fauci should be put before the Supreme Court. He should be made to tell why he lied, why he covered up the fact that he knew that this was coming from the Wuhan lab, that he knew that they were doing gain of function research there at the Wuhan lab. So I believe that Dr. Fauci should sit before Congress, he should sit before the Supreme Court, and he should be charged for treason. He should be charged for lying to the American people. He should be charged for what he did, breaking the constitutional rights of American citizens, because this is nonsense. Now that this is coming out, guys, people have been saying this since 2020. There is no way this came from a wet market. It's just impossible. It is, and then when you start looking at, so Dr. Fauci is the head doctor of the United States, right? He was the director of the National Institute of Health. Okay, and let me tell you something. I got it written down here. I just got to find it on my paper. Dr. Fauci and actually it's written on my phone on that note. But Dr. Fauci, okay, and all the Pfizers, the Modernas, they've received $400 million. I'm going to say that again. $400 million when this happened, okay? And like I said, I actually have the report somewhere else, so that is my fault. I thought I had that pulled up, but we'll make sure we get that out there for you. But anyway, Dr. Fauci was the one approving the funds to the Wuhan lab in China, Wuhan, China. So I think that kind of speaks for itself and within itself. They were providing the funds, they were doing the gain of function research, and Moderna. That's what it was. I said it wrong. Moderna and Pfizer had given the NIH, which is headed by Dr. Fauci, $400 million. Thank you, Jeremy. Moderna and Pfizer, and I think Johnson & Johnson was in there as well, had given the National Institute of Health $400 million. $400 million. And I think that is just insane, guys. Just insane. Listen, Mr. President Reagan said it. The 9 most terrifying words. I'm from the government and I'm here to help. That's exactly what happened with COVID. It's exactly what Dr. Fauci's been doing. And to be honest, I think it shows how gullible that some of us are. And I'll be honest with you. I used to be that. I used to be there. But see, when you have the sources that we have and the connections that we have, and you really start investigating, it's all a ploy. It's all a ploy for power and greed. And that's exactly what this was. That's exactly what this was about. And it's a shame. It's a shame. And, I don't know what else to say. Once again, the conspiracy theorists have been vindicated. There it is. I found it right here. Moderna had paid Fauci and the NIH $400 million in vaccine royalties. I'm going to say that again. Moderna and Pfizer paid Fauci and the NIH $400 million in vaccine royalties. That's a lot of money, folks. And if you want to bring that kind of money into your institution, yeah, you'll probably lie a little bit. Probably hide the truth. And it's a shame. Woody Harrelson was on the who I love, a great actor. Truly love his work. He was on the I forget. I think it's what Club Random with Bill Maher. And he said, the last people I'd trust with my health is big pharma and big government. They don't strike me as caring entities. And that's true. Guys, let's not forget, and it's like Norfolk Southern, and we're actually going to talk about this in the segment later today, because there was another train derailment in Florida that spilled 30,000 gallons of propane. But, guys, big corporations, their main goal is to create revenue and profit and to make sure that their shareholders are taken care of, okay? It's the same thing with Big Pharma. Do you think Big Pharma really wants, whether it's, a cancer, figuring out how to beat cancer and all that good stuff? You think they want that stuff? That takes money away from them. They don't want to lose a patient, right? The drugs and the amount of money that the drugs cost. They don't want to lose patients. So let's not forget that Big Pharma is about big money. Okay. So, I think Mr. Harrelson, Woody Harrelson hit that right on the head. We cannot trust this government. We can't, because at the end of the day, they're only here for one thing, okay? They're only here for power and greed. Power and greed. And when you have that kind of power, when you have that kind of potential money coming in, what would you do? What would you do? All right, guys. That's the uncensored truth. Join us in a little bit for our next segment. We're going to talk about Norfolk Southern and the train derailment in Ohio. And we're going to talk about the train derailment that happened literally late last night in Florida, again, spilling 30,000 pounds of propane. So, again, guys, appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate you guys supporting. And that's the uncensored truth.